Hi, Austin here with KaiVac. In this video, I'll walk you through an advanced power priming technique for the KaiVac 1250. This one involves dropping the black box and disconnecting the unloader to remove a vapor lock. But first, before we get started, I want to talk a little bit about what creates vapor lock inside of the pump. It has to do with the water level inside of the fresh water tank. We want to be mindful of the water level while we're out performing our cleaning tasks. If we run the tank empty while operating the pump system, the pump can then pull air into it, creating a vapor lock. So to avoid this from happening, you always want to be mindful of the amount of water that's in your freshwater tank and make sure that you have the water available needed for your cleaning applications. So before we get started, there are a couple of things that you're going to want to do. You want to make sure we have hand and eye protection. And then we want to make sure that we have disconnected the chemical and placed that aside. If your unit is a battery powered system, to begin, we can remove the battery and place it off to the side carefully. We are going to leave the system plugged in because this is a corded electric version. Before continuing, make sure the mushroom filter on the inside of the fresh water tank is 100% clean. Also, we need water in the tank, so make sure to fill the fresh water tank with a few gallons of water. Okay, the first thing we want to do is we want to unwrap the electrical cord completely off of the machine. If the cord is wrapped up, that will prevent the black box from dropping. After that, we can come up here to the top of the tank. We want to disconnect the vacuum motor hose from the inlet on the vacuum tank. Sometimes this is going to be a 90-degree fitting and sometimes it'll be a straight, but we just want to disconnect the vacuum motor hose from that fitting. And then as we come around here to the left side of the machine, you'll see the pressure hose and injector. And we need to disconnect the injector from the pulse hose that comes off of the black box. This is also going to allow us to drop the black box to the floor. In some cases, you may need to squeeze the trigger on the spray gun to release any stored pressure, but that's probably not going to be the case since we have a vapor lock and there's just air in the pump. So to disconnect this fitting, you simply pull back on this quick connect down here at where the pressure hose connects to the injector. So if we pull that down, by pulling this collar back, we can disconnect it from the injector. And now we're free. Go ahead and lock the casters on the front of the machine. This is going to help prevent it from rolling around. The next step is to remove the yellow thumb screws that hold the black box to the tanks. There's two up top, so we'll go ahead and remove those. After we remove the two top thumb screws, we can come down and remove the lower thumb screws next to the rear wheels. After removing the thumb screws, I like to place them up top here in the tank lid just so that I don't lose them. The best way to lower the black box is to place one hand on the tank and your other hand on the handle. Then use some force to pull the black box away from the tanks. And again, on the opposite side. Once you have the black box loose, we can lay this in the floor. As we come inside of the black box, we want to locate the unloader that's connected to the pump motor. And there's a pulse hose that comes off of the bottom of the pump head, which connects directly to the unloader. We want to disconnect this pressure hose using the quick disconnect fitting. After disconnecting the pulse hose, I like to point the pulse hose outside of the black box. You can use a towel, kind of wrap it around the fitting to kind of block any water from getting inside of the black box in your wiring and on your motors and some of the components in here. So again, I'm going to point the pressure hose out of the black box. Then I'm just going to simply turn the pump on and off a couple of times. Usually within the first 2 clicks of the switch, you'll notice water start to come out of the pressure hose. If I were to leave this pump switch on, you can see that I have constant water flow. So we have successfully removed the vapor lock from the pump and primed the system by disconnecting and bypassing the unloader. The last thing we need to do is just go ahead and reconnect our fitting back to the unloader. Then we're ready to raise the black box. If you get any overspray or water inside of the black box, make sure to go back and clean that up with a towel. All right, next we're going to reconnect the black box by lifting it. And we want to make sure that our chemical cap and hose are not obstructing anything. We can lift the tanks, put some pressure on the lower portion of the black box, and then make sure we don't have any hoses kinked on the inside. Once all of that is good, I'm going to push the yellow tank slightly forward, and then using a bit of force, snap it into place. After lifting the black box, ensure that the cutouts in the black box are lining up with the stainless steel inserts. And then we'll start by replacing the lower thumb screws first, one on each side. After replacing the lower thumb screws, we can replace the 2 up top. And then be sure to reconnect the pressure hose to the injector. And then reconnect the vacuum motor hose back to the fitting on top of the tank. Last, we just need to do a pressure check to make sure that we have water flowing through the system. To do that, we can remove the vacuum tank lid, place it aside, and we're just gonna turn the pump on, point the spray gun into the tank, and squeeze the trigger. Be sure to turn the pump off and release any stored pressure in the line. We are good to go. For more tips and tricks on your KaiVac no-touch cleaning systems, be sure to subscribe. And if you have any questions or you need further assistance, you can always reach out to KaiVac Tech Support and they'd be happy to help. Take care.